Hello, and welcome to this JCT screencast, which presents an introduction to the Junior Cycle Business Studies specification. It will be very useful to have the Business Studies specification to refer to throughout this screencast. Page reference numbers have been provided on screen at certain points, where you may wish to pause and engage with the specification. You can access the specification on www.curriculumonline.ie. This online interface gives teachers access to a wide range of additional materials. Materials here include the assessment guidelines, assessment toolkits, and key skills resources. In time, it will also include examples of students' work. These will have been selected to illustrate expectations and will have been annotated by teachers. The Business Studies specification is a statutory document that has been developed by the NCCA and is embedded in the overall framework for Junior Cycle. The Business Studies specification, which is assessed at common level, outlines how the learning is linked to particular statements of learning and the 8 key skills in the framework for Junior Cycle. It provides the rationale and aims for Junior Cycle Business Studies, and these can be found on pages 4 and 5 of the specification. Perhaps you might like to take this opportunity to pause here and read them. The specification details the learning for students through learning outcomes. These have been arranged across 3 strands. The Business Studies specification is designed to be used as a guide for collaborative and classroom planning. Throughout the Junior Cycle, students will acquire and enhance their proficiency in 8 key skills. These will be brought to life through the learning experiences encountered by students and will be evident in the assessment approaches used in the classroom and in examinations. These skills are key to learning in every area of Junior Cycle and beyond. They are closely linked to the skills required at Senior Cycle and those already developed for early childhood and primary education. The key skills are named and explained in language that students can access and understand. This will help them to take greater responsibility for their learning. The key skills are embedded in the learning outcomes of Business Studies and every Junior Cycle subject and short course. The Business Studies specification affords a reasonable degree of freedom for teachers to facilitate learning in a way that reflects students' own choices, curiosity, and entrepreneurial spirit. It allows for flexibility and increased autonomy while encouraging us to use our local context to enrich our classes and draw on issues that are of relevance to students. The learning in the specification is presented through learning outcomes. These are statements that describe the knowledge and understanding, skills and values that students should be able to demonstrate after a period of learning. There are 37 learning outcomes which students will experience across the 3 years of Junior Cycle. Learning outcomes are organised through 3 interconnected strands. Strand 1, Personal Finance, has 13 learning outcomes and focuses on students developing a set of skills, knowledge and values that allows them to make informed decisions to effectively and responsibly manage their financial resources. Perhaps you might like to take this opportunity to pause here and have a read down through the learning outcomes in the Personal Finance strand. Strand 2, Enterprise, has 13 learning outcomes. These learning outcomes are designed to encourage students to identify possible entrepreneurial opportunities and turn them into practical and targeted activities within business and wider society. In doing this, students will have an opportunity to develop and apply their understanding, skills and values in the business classroom and beyond. By engaging with these learning outcomes, students will develop a basic understanding of the financial, marketing and operational functions of an organisation. Perhaps you might like to take this opportunity to pause here and have a read down through the learning outcomes from Strand 2, Enterprise. Strand 3, Our Economy, which has 11 learning outcomes, enables students to understand the dynamic relationship between the local, national and international economic situation. It develops students' ability to identify and understand basic economic concepts as they relate to personal finance, enterprise and the Irish economy. Perhaps you might like to take this opportunity to pause here and have a read down through the learning outcomes from Strand 3, Our Economy. The NCCA has provided 2 glossaries to further assist in working with the Business Studies learning outcomes. They are to be found in the appendix of the specification. Assessment in education involves gathering, interpreting, and using information about the processes and outcomes of learning. This section refers to both the formative and summative assessment. It outlines the assessment components through which students will present evidence of learning on an ongoing basis and for the purpose of recording achievement for the junior cycle profile of achievement. The new reporting arrangements helps to ensure that both parents and students get a broader picture of a student's learning progress and achievement throughout the whole of junior cycle. More detailed material on assessment for reporting in junior cycle business studies can be found in the assessment guidelines. It can be accessed on www.curriculumonline.ie. It sets out the details of the practical arrangements related to the assessment of the classroom-based assessments and assessment task. Thank you for watching this JCT screencast and an introduction to the Junior Cycle Business Studies specification.